Chosen one. Why do you feel younger today than you did yesterday? Why are you staring at your reflection, confused by what you see? Why are people asking you what you've been doing differently when all you've been doing is believing? Here's a truth that will shatter everything you thought you knew about time. You are aging backwards. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, literally. Your cells are reversing. Your DNA is rewriting itself. Your very biology is defying the laws of nature because you have moved beyond natural law into supernatural law. Stop. Listen to what the Lord himself declared in Joel 2:25. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Not just heal your future, restore your past. Isaiah 40:31 promises, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Renew, present tense, happening now. Chosen ones, you're not just living forward, you're aging backwards. This was never in the prophecy the world gave you, the prophecy of decline, decay, and dignified defeat. But it was always in the prophecy God wrote for you before time began. Something is happening in your body that science cannot explain and medicine cannot replicate. Your mirror has become a witness stand, and it's testifying to a miracle the world isn't ready to understand. The wrinkles that told stories of struggle are softening into testimonies of triumph. The gray that marked your years is giving way to the radiance of His glory. But why? Why would God reverse time? Why now? And why you? Because you are not who the world says you are. You are not bound by their timelines, their expectations, their limitations. You carry eternity in your DNA, and eternity doesn't age. Before we journey deeper into this sacred mystery together, I want to pause and thank every single one of you who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and sow that seed of faith. Right now, this very moment, I need you to do something prophetic. If you can feel the stirring in your spirit, if something inside you is confirming what I'm speaking, type Amen or I receive it in the comments below. This isn't just interaction, this is activation. This is your agreement with heaven's timeline, not Earth's. Because what I'm about to reveal will change everything you believed about your body, your destiny, and the years ahead of you. The reversal has already begun. The question is, are you ready to embrace it? Look at your hands right now. Go ahead. Look at them. Do you see what I see? Do you see the spots that weren't there 20 years ago? The veins that map stories you never wanted to tell? The skin that feels like it belongs to someone else? When did your body become a stranger to you? When did the mirror become your enemy instead of your friend? When did getting out of bed become a negotiation with pain instead of a celebration of another day? Dear one, I know you've been carrying something heavier than your years. It's the weight of watching time slip through your fingers like sand at Coney Island Beach. You felt it every morning when you wake up, and your first thought isn't gratitude, it's the inventory of what hurts today. Your knees that used to carry you up 3 flights to your Brooklyn apartment without a second thought. Your back that once lifted grandchildren with ease. Your energy that used to burn bright until midnight, and now flickers out by 8 o'clock. You've buried friends. Oh, how many funerals have you attended where you sat in those wooden pews wondering, am I next? You've watched opportunities slip through your fingers like coins falling through holes in your winter coat pockets. The dreams you had at 30, at 50, even at 60, where did they go? Did they die with your youth? Or are they buried somewhere beneath the avalanche of doctor appointments and prescription bottles? I see you there at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling of your bedroom, asking the question that haunts every chosen one. Lord, am I finished? Have I run my race? Is this slow fade into irrelevance really how my story ends? The clock on your nightstand ticks like a prison guard's footsteps. Tick. Another minute gone. Tick. Another opportunity passed. Tick. Another day closer to what? The world has convinced you that time is your warden, that each passing second is another bar added to the cell of your declining years. They've programmed you to believe that 70 is old, that 80 is ancient, that 90 is borrowed time. But what if your body has been lying to you? What if everything you've been told about aging, about decline, about the inevitable march toward weakness, what if it's all been the greatest deception ever perpetrated against God's chosen ones? What if the fatigue you feel isn't your body giving up, but your spirit being suppressed by a lie so massive that it's fooled entire generations into surrendering before their race is finished? Listen to what King David declared in Psalm 103-5. Who satisfies your years with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles, not was renewed, not will be renewed, is renewed. Present tense, happening now. The Hebrew word here is chadash, to make new, to rebuild, to restore to original condition. But the world didn't want you to know this. They needed you to believe that your best days were behind you. They needed you to step aside, to make room, to fade quietly into the background. Because if you ever discovered the truth, if you ever understood that God's timeline doesn't match their timeline, you'd become dangerous to their system of limitation. You've been living in a prison of expectation. Society's expectation, medicine's expectation, even your own family's expectation. They've trained you to measure your worth by how much you can produce, how fast you can move, how sharp your memory stays. And when those things begin to shift, they whisper the cruelest lie of all: your time is up. But what if heaven is about to tell a different story? What if the God who made Sarah laugh at 90 when she gave birth to Isaac has been watching you, waiting for this exact moment when you'd be desperate enough to believe the impossible? What if the same power that sustained Moses at 120, his eye was undimmed and his vigor unabated? What if that same power is stirring in your bloodstream right now? You see, chosen one, you've been measuring your life by the wrong calendar. You've been checking the wrong clock. The world operates on Chronos time, the ticking, relentless march of seconds and minutes and years. But God operates on Kairos time, the appointed time, the right time, the time when eternity breaks into the temporal and rewrites the rules. Jesus himself said in John 8:58, "Before Abraham was, I am, not I was, I am." Present tense, eternal tense. He exists outside of time, and if you belong to him, so do you. Your spirit is not aging, your soul is not declining. Only your flesh has been convinced to cooperate with the lie of limitation. Right now, as these words wash over you, something is happening beneath the surface of your awareness. Your cells are listening, your DNA is remembering. Your body is receiving new instructions from the same God who spoke light into darkness and called stars by name. When God steps into time, the prison doors swing open. The chains of Chronos time begin to rust and fall away. The ticking that once sounded like a countdown to your end becomes the rhythm of your resurrection. But I need to know something from you. I need you to be honest, vulnerable, real. In the comments below, share with me one area where you feel time has stolen from you. Your energy, your dreams, your confidence, your hope. Don't hold back. This isn't just therapeutic, this is prophetic. Because what you name, God can reclaim. Because what I'm about to show you next will prove that the very thing you think time has stolen, God has been storing up to give back to you in supernatural abundance. Chosen one, look at your hands right now. No, really stop everything and look at them. Those hands that have prayed through decades of storms, those hands that have worked, worried, and waited. Those hands that society says are aging. But what if I told you those hands are lying? What if the calendar on your wall is the greatest deception ever whispered into your spirit? Here's the truth that will demolish every limitation you've accepted. Your body is not your enemy. Time is not your master. And aging, real aging, was never God's design for you. Romans 8:11 declares with thunderous authority, "The Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you. He who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies because of his Spirit who lives in you." Read that again. Give life to your mortal bodies, not just your soul, not just your spirit, your flesh, your skin, your very cells. The same resurrection power that exploded Jesus out of that tomb is coursing through your bloodstream right now. This isn't science fiction, beloved. This isn't wishful thinking dreamed up by desperate people in denial. This is holy biology heaven, realigning your cells with the original design, the blueprint written before sin ever touched creation. You see, aging was never part of God's plan. Death entered through disobedience, but life eternal, vibrant, unstoppable life, that's your birthright. And right now, at this very moment, your spirit is overriding every lie your mirror has told you. But here's where most people stumble. They think this reversal is about vanity. They think God cares about your wrinkles, your gray hair, your reading glasses. No, no, no. If aging backward isn't about looking younger, then what's it really about? Stay with me, because the answer will break every lie you've believed about your future. Your body is aging backwards because your assignment is ramping up. God isn't preserving you, he's preparing you. You think you're retired. Heaven says you're being refired. You think your best days are behind you. The Almighty is saying your greatest days require a body that can handle the glory. Listen to me carefully, dear one. You are not aging out of your calling, you're growing into it. Moses was 80 when he split the Red Sea. Sarah was 90 when she birthed nations. Caleb was 85 when he conquered mountains. And you sitting there thinking you're past your prime, you're just entering your supernatural season. But the enemy has been lying to you. He's been whispering poison in your ear for years. You're too old. You're too tired. Your time has passed. Sit down. Be quiet. Fade away gracefully. That's not God's voice. That's hell's greatest fear being projected onto your life. Because the devil knows something about seasoned saints that young believers don't understand yet. You've been refined by fire. You've been tested by time. You've been purified by pain. And when God releases resurrection power into a vessel that's been through what you've been through, the results are catastrophic to darkness. Your gray hair isn't a sign of decline, it's a crown of wisdom. Your wrinkles aren't marks of deterioration, they're etchings of endurance. Your slower pace isn't weakness, it's the measured walk of someone who knows where they're going because they've learned to follow the shepherd's voice. But here's the supernatural twist that will blow your mind. As your spirit grows stronger, your body is being commanded to match that strength. As your faith deepens, your flesh is being ordered to support that assignment. As your wisdom increases, your vitality is being restored to carry that authority. This isn't about turning back the clock. This is about stepping outside of time altogether. This is about moving from Chronos, the ticking of seconds, into Kairos, the appointed time when heaven touches earth and impossible becomes inevitable. Right now, this very second, cellular regeneration is accelerating in your body. Your DNA is receiving new instructions. Your organs are remembering their original function. Your nervous system is being rewired for peace instead of panic, for purpose instead of pressure. You want proof? You want evidence? Look at how you feel right now compared to how you felt this morning. Look at the energy building in your chest as these words penetrate your spirit. Look at the hope rising in your heart for the first time in years. That's not emotion, that's activation. The same spirit that raised Christ from the dead isn't just living in you. He's renovating you. He's restoring you. He's reversing every system that tried to shut down before your assignment was complete. But I need you to understand something urgent. This reversal requires your participation. This isn't something that happens to you, it's something that happens through you. Faith isn't passive. Faith is fierce. And right now, your faith is about to accelerate what God has already begun. Stand up wherever you are right now. I don't care if people are watching. I don't care if it feels awkward. Stand up, stretch your hands toward heaven, and declare with every ounce of authority in your spirit, I am being renewed. Say it again, louder. I am being renewed. Feel that power flowing through your fingertips. Feel that strength returning to your spine. Feel that fire reigniting in your belly. That's not imagination. That's renovation happening in real time. You are not a victim of time. You are a victor over it. You are not bound by biology. You are blessed with supernatural capacity. You are not fading into your final chapters. You are blazing into your finest hour. But if this renewal isn't just about you, if it's about something bigger, something more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, then what exactly is God preparing you for? But chosen one, you already know something's different, don't you? You've been feeling it for weeks now, maybe months. That strange lightness in your chest when you wake up. That unexpected clarity when you pray, like the static between heaven and earth suddenly went silent, and now God's voice cuts through crystal clear. You thought it was your imagination. You dismissed it as wishful thinking. But deep down, in that sacred place where truth lives, you know this isn't normal. This isn't how aging is supposed to feel. Let me ask you something that might shock you. When was the last time you felt genuine peace without having to work for it? When was the last time your mind was quiet, not empty, but quiet like a still lake reflecting eternity? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and saw light in your eyes that you didn't put there? This isn't happening to everyone your age. Walk through any retirement community, any church fellowship hall, any family gathering. Look into the eyes around you. Most carry the weight of accumulated years, the dullness of dreams deferred, the resignation of time running out. But not you. Not anymore. Your eyes are different now. There's a radiance there that makeup can't create and good lighting can't fake. Psalm 34:5 declares, They looked to him and were radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. That radiance isn't coming from your skincare routine, beloved. It's coming from your spirit breaking through your flesh like morning sun through midnight clouds. But here's what's really happening, and this is where it gets supernatural. Your body is remembering something your mind forgot. Every cell in your being carries the memory of perfection, the original blueprint God designed before sin introduced decay. And right now, this very moment, that divine DNA is awakening. You're sleeping better, aren't you? Not the exhausted collapse of the weary, but the deep restorative sleep of someone whose nervous system has found its divine rhythm. You're waking up with energy that doesn't make sense, bursts of vitality that hit you at 2 p.m. when you used to hit the wall. Your appetite has changed, not just for food, but for life itself. You find yourself wanting to move, to create, to connect. The isolation that once felt comfortable now feels suffocating. The small talk that once filled your days now feels empty. You're hungry for something deeper, something eternal, something more. And your prayers. Oh, chosen one, your prayers have become dangerous weapons. They're no longer the desperate pleas of someone hoping God might hear. They're the confident declarations of someone who knows. He's already listening. Your words carry weight now. Your intercessions pierce the heavens. People are getting healed when you pray for them, and you can't explain why. This is what resurrection looks like in real time. Not the dramatic Hollywood version with special effects and orchestral music, but the quiet, steady reversal of everything the world told you was irreversible. Like spring shoots breaking through winter soil, your body and soul are already carrying resurrection. What looks dead on the surface is exploding with life underneath. What appears dormant is actually activated. What seems finished is just beginning. Your reflection is no longer your past. It's God's present work. Stand in front of your mirror tonight. Look beyond the surface. Look past what your eyes can see into what your spirit knows. That person staring back at you isn't someone who's running out of time. That's someone who's running into destiny. The world trained you to see decline when you look at yourself, to count wrinkles instead of victories, to measure limitations instead of possibilities. But God is retraining your vision. He's teaching you to see with heaven's eyes, where age isn't about years accumulated, but authority activated. Why are you radiant now? Because God is restoring not your past youth, but your eternal assignment. He's not giving you back your 20-year-old body. He's giving you your timeless purpose. He's not reversing your clock, he's removing your ceiling. You're not getting younger to relive your mistakes. You're being renewed to fulfill your mission. Every laugh line that's softening, every silver strand that's shining, every step that's becoming steadier, it's all preparation for what's coming next. But here's the urgency that should grip your soul. This renewal isn't happening so you can retire comfortably into your golden years. It's happening so you can rise powerfully into your kingdom years. God isn't restoring your strength so you can rest. He's restoring your strength so you can run. The enemy has been telling you that your time is over, that your influence is fading, that your voice doesn't matter anymore. But every sign of renewal in your body is heaven's contradiction to hell's lie. Every burst of energy is God saying, I'm not done with you. Every moment of clarity is the Holy Spirit declaring, your assignment is just beginning. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to do something prophetic. Get out a journal, a piece of paper, anything you can write on. At the top, write these words. I see evidence of renewal in. Then sit quietly and ask the Holy Spirit to show you what He's already been doing that you haven't noticed. Your sharper vision, your steadier hands, your clearer thoughts, your deeper compassion, your growing boldness. Write it down. Every sign, every change, every evidence that God is moving in your body, your mind, your spirit. Because what you acknowledge, heaven amplifies. What you declare, earth must obey. But as you write, prepare yourself for what comes next. Because recognizing the evidence is just the beginning. The question that will determine everything is this. What are you going to do with the life God is giving back to you? Listen to me, chosen one. They lied to you. For decades they whispered poison in your ears. Too late, too old, too tired. They pointed at your birth certificate like it was a death sentence. They counted your years like a prosecutor reading charges against you. They made you believe that time was your judge, jury, and executioner. But that voice was not from God. That voice came from the same pit of hell that told Moses he was a stuttering failure at 80. The same darkness that whispered to Sarah she was a barren old woman at 90. The same demonic chorus that tried to convince Anna she was just another forgotten widow in the temple. They were wrong about Moses. They were wrong about Sarah. They were wrong about Anna, and they are wrong about you. You want to know what God thinks about your age? Let me tell you what the Almighty whispered to Moses when he was 80 years old and hiding in the desert, convinced his time had passed. Now therefore, go, and I will be with your mouth, and teach you what you shall say. Exodus 4:12. 80 years old, Moses hadn't even started his real assignment yet. While the world was planning his funeral, God was planning his future. While society was writing him off, heaven was writing him in. The burning bush didn't appear to a 20-year-old with potential, it appeared to an 80-year-old with purpose. And Sarah, Genesis 21:6 records her laughter. God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. She was 90 years old, chosen one. 90. Her body had shut down. Her hope had dried up. But when God's time came, her womb opened like a flower in spring. She didn't just conceive a child, she conceived a nation. But here's what breaks my heart. You've been living by their calendar instead of God's covenant. The world counts years. Heaven counts assignments. The world measures time. God measures timing. The world sees your wrinkles and counts decline. God sees your scars and counts credentials. Anna the prophetess understood this mystery. Luke 2:37 tells us she was 84 years old, a widow who never left the temple. 84. Most people would have called her a relic, a sweet old lady living in the past. But when baby Jesus was brought to the temple, it wasn't the young priests who recognized him. It wasn't the scholars who proclaimed his identity. It was Anna, 84-year-old Anna, who became the first evangelist, declaring to all Jerusalem that redemption had come. Why? Because while the world was looking at her calendar, God was looking at her covenant. While they saw her age, he saw her assignment. You think you're running out of time? Let me shatter that lie with truth that will resurrect your destiny. You are not running out of time. Time is running into you. Every second you've lived, every breath you've taken, every year you've survived has been converging toward this moment, this conversation, this revelation, this divine appointment where heaven declares, now is your time. The calendar on your wall is lying to you. Those numbers aren't a countdown, they're a count-up. You're not approaching your end, you're approaching your beginning. Every year hasn't been taking you further from your purpose, it's been bringing you closer to your position. Moses needed 80 years of preparation to handle Pharaoh. Sarah needed 90 years of waiting to understand the miracle. Anna needed 84 years of faithfulness to recognize the Messiah. What have your years been preparing you for? You've been listening to a culture that worships youth and discards wisdom, a society that values energy over experience, speed over substance. But God's kingdom operates on a different frequency. In heaven's economy, your silver hair is a crown of glory. Your lined face is a map of miracles. Your slower pace is the measured walk of someone who knows where they're going. Proverbs 16:31 declares, "Gray hair is a crown of splendor. It is attained in the way of righteousness, not attained by accident, not acquired through decline. Attained, earned, achieved." Your age isn't your limitation, it's your liberation. The voice that told you it's too late is the same voice that told Noah he was too old to build an ark. The same voice that told Abraham he was too ancient to father nations. The same voice that told Caleb he was too elderly to conquer mountains. But at 85, Caleb declared in Joshua 14:12, "Give me this mountain, not give me a rocking chair, not give me a retirement home, give me this mountain." What mountain is God pointing to in your life right now? What impossible thing has he been preparing you to conquer? What dream have you buried under the weight of their lies about your age? Because here's the truth that will set you free. God doesn't have a retirement plan. He has a redeployment strategy. He doesn't put his generals on the shelf. He positions them for their greatest victories. He doesn't bench his MVPs in the fourth quarter. He sends them in for the winning play. Your years weren't meant to diminish you. They were meant to distinguish you. Your age wasn't meant to sideline you. It was meant to anoint you. Your experience wasn't meant to slow you down. It was meant to speed you up for the assignment only you can complete. Right now, I need you to do something that will break every chain of limitation that has been wrapped around your destiny. I need you to type your age in the comments below. Don't be ashamed of that number. Don't whisper it. Declare it, because that number isn't your expiration date, it's your activation code. Type your age and follow it with these words: God is not done with me. Because chosen one, the reversal isn't just happening in your body, it's happening in your timeline. Heaven is rewriting your story, and the best chapters are yet to come. But what happens when you finally understand that your age isn't your enemy? It's your evidence that God's been preparing something magnificent. Chosen one, something extraordinary is happening to your face right now. Not your makeup, not your lighting, not some filter or cream you bought at the drugstore. I'm talking about something that no cosmetic counter in Manhattan could ever manufacture: divine radiance. Look in the mirror, go ahead, I'll wait. What do you see? Because what's looking back at you isn't the same person who woke up 6 months ago wondering if their best days were behind them. That glow emanating from your skin, that's not imagination. That's holy fire breaking through human flesh. Psalm 34:5 declares, "Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame." Never covered, present tense, active, alive. Your face is becoming a living testimony, and people are starting to notice. Has your granddaughter looked at you differently lately? Has she lingered a little longer in your hugs, studying your face with wonder? Grandma, you look happy again. Out of the mouths of babes comes prophetic recognition. Children see what adults have been trained to ignore: the supernatural, breaking into the natural. Your mirror has become a portal. What once reflected decline, defeat, and the cruel march of time now reflects heaven's promise. Every morning you're witnessing a resurrection, not metaphorical, literal. The same power that raised Christ from the dead is raising the youth from your very cells. But here's what's driving people crazy: they can't figure out what you're doing differently. Your neighbor stops you at the mailbox. You've been working out? Your friend at the grocery store tilts her head. New skincare routine? Your doctor stares at your chart, then at you, then back at your chart. The numbers don't match what he's seeing. What they're witnessing isn't the result of some anti-aging miracle cream or expensive procedure. They're seeing 2 Corinthians 3, 18-inch living color. And we all, who with unveiled faces contemplate the Lord's glory, are being transformed into His image with ever-increasing glory. Ever-increasing. Not declining, not fading, increasing. Your walk carries new authority. Remember when you used to shuffle through the supermarket aisles, feeling invisible, forgotten? Now heads turn. Not because you're trying to be noticed, but because glory cannot hide. Your posture speaks before your mouth opens. Your smile prophesies redemption louder than any sermon ever preached from any pulpit. This isn't vanity talking, this is victory walking. But let me ask you something that might sting. How many years did you waste believing the lie that your light was dimming? How many mornings did you avoid mirrors because they only reminded you of what you thought you'd lost? How many times did you shrink back from conversations, from opportunities, from life itself, because you believed your season was over? The enemy had you convinced that aging meant fading. But God's mathematics work differently. In His economy, the older you get, the brighter you become. The closer to glory, the more glorious. Isaiah 60:1 thunders this truth. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Your light hasn't come, it's here. It's breaking through your skin like sunrise through storm clouds. Strangers are drawn to you now without understanding why. The cashier at Target lingers in conversation. The gentleman at the bank smiles warmer. They feel something emanating from you that their spirits recognize, even when their minds can't name it. You're carrying the frequency of heaven, and earth is responding. Your joy is becoming contagious. Not the fake cheerfulness the world peddles, but the deep, unshakable joy that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. People feel lighter after being in your presence. They leave your conversations somehow more hopeful, though they can't explain why. This is what happens when eternity inhabits time. When divine DNA overrides human programming. When God decides to make you a living epistle, written not with ink but with the Spirit of the living God. Your grandchildren are watching this transformation with wide eyes. They're witnessing their grandmother or grandfather being renewed before their very eyes, and it's rewriting their understanding of what's possible. You're not just aging backwards, you're teaching them that God still does the impossible. But here's the urgent truth that should grip your heart. This transformation comes with responsibility. Every radiant smile is a sermon. Every energetic step is a testimony. Every moment of restored joy is pointing someone toward the source. People are watching you. They're studying you. They're trying to decode what you've discovered. And when they ask not if, but when, what will you tell them? Will you mumble something about good genes or lucky breaks? Or will you look them in the eye and declare the truth that could change their eternity? Because God is restoring me. This week, chosen one, someone is going to notice, someone is going to ask, someone is going to wonder what happened to the person they thought they knew. And in that moment, you'll have a choice. Hide the miracle or herald it. Your very presence is becoming a prophetic act. Every room you enter, every life you touch, every conversation you have, they're all opportunities for heaven to demonstrate that restoration is still possible, that God still breathes life into dry bones, that the best wine truly is saved for last. The question burning in your spirit right now should be this: if God is making you a living testament to His power to reverse time itself, what assignment is He preparing you for that requires this level of supernatural vitality? Listen to me, chosen one. Something is stirring in the atmosphere around your life right now. Can you feel it? That electric tension in the air. That's not anxiety. That's not restlessness. That's the sound of eternity breaking into time. For too long, you've been living under the tyranny of the calendar, counting down instead of counting up, measuring decline instead of measuring destiny. But I'm here to tell you something that will shatter every limitation you've accepted about your age, your capacity, your future. You are not slowing down, you are rising up. Let that settle into your spirit. Say it with me. I am not slowing down, I am rising up. The world looks at your birthday and sees expiration, but heaven looks at your experience and sees activation. They see your gray hair and think decline. God sees your silver crown and thinks divine appointment. You've been programmed to believe that 70 is the beginning of the end. But what if I told you that 70 is the beginning of the beginning? Moses was 80 when God called him to split the Red Sea. Sarah was 90 when she conceived the impossible. Caleb was 85 when he declared, "Give me this mountain." Your age isn't your limitation, it's your ammunition. You are not fading, you are being glorified. Every line on your face tells a story of God's faithfulness. Every scar bears witness to His healing power. Every mark of time is actually a mark of triumph. You think you're wearing down? No, you're being refined. You think you're breaking down? No, you're being built up with supernatural architecture. 2 Corinthians 4:16 declares, "Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day, not year by year, not decade by decade." Every sunrise brings fresh renewal. Every breath carries divine renovation. But here's where it gets controversial. Here's where it gets uncomfortable for those who've made peace with mediocrity. The enemy has been lying to you. He's whispered that your best days are behind you, that your influence is diminishing, that your voice doesn't matter anymore, that you should step aside and let the younger generation take over. That is a lie straight from the pit of hell. You carry something they don't have. You carry the authority of experience. You carry the weight of tested faith. You carry the wisdom that only comes from walking with God through valleys and mountaintops. The world needs what you carry. This generation is lost, confused, searching for meaning in all the wrong places. They need your stability. They need your strength. They need your seasoned perspective. You are not late. You are right on time. Right on time for what? Right on time for the greatest awakening this nation has ever seen. Right on time for the harvest that's ready, but the laborers are few. Right on time to stand in the gap for a generation that's forgotten how to pray, how to believe, how to hope. But I need you to see something. I need you to imagine something with me. Picture this. Tomorrow morning you wake up and something is different. Fundamentally different. The heaviness that's been sitting on your chest for months gone. The fatigue that's been dragging your steps lifted. The cloudiness that's been fogging your mind cleared. You stand in front of your mirror and you don't see the person who went to bed last night. You see someone radiant, someone renewed, someone who looks like they've been touched by the finger of God Himself. Your eyes are brighter. Your posture is straighter. Your smile comes easier. People start asking, "What happened to you? What's different?" And you know. Deep in your spirit, you know. God has reversed time in your body. He's restored the years the locust has eaten. He's given you beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. This isn't fantasy. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the prophetic reality that God is speaking over your life right now. Isaiah 40-31 isn't just a pretty verse to put on greeting cards. It's a divine promise. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Renew. Present tense. Active voice. Happening right now. But here's what most people miss. This renewal isn't automatic. It requires agreement. It requires activation. It requires you to align your confession with God's declaration. It requires you to stop speaking death over your body and start speaking life. Stop saying, "I'm getting old." Start declaring, "I'm getting bold." Stop saying, "I'm slowing down." Start proclaiming, "I'm rising up." 2 Corinthians 5:17, thunders with authority. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. The old has gone, past tense, finished, completed. The limitations, the labels, the lies, their history. The new is here, present reality. Available now. The strength, the vitality, the supernatural renewal, it's yours to claim. Your calendar is not your coffin, it is your crown. Your birth certificate is not your death warrant, it's your diploma from the University of Divine Preparation. Every year you've lived has been preparing you for this moment, this awakening, this activation, this explosion of purpose that's about to rock your world and everyone around you. But I need your agreement. I need your participation. I need you to stop being a spectator and become a participant in your own miracle. Right now, wherever you are, I want you to pray this prayer with me. Don't just listen, participate. Don't just agree, activate. Pray with me. Lord Jesus, I come before you not as someone who's aging out of purpose, but as someone who's aging into power. I reject every lie that says my best days are behind me. I refuse every limitation that the world has tried to place on my age. I declare that you are the God who restores the years the locust has eaten. You are the God who renews my strength like the eagles. Right now, in this moment, I ask you to reverse time in my body. Restore strength to my bones, release clarity to my mind, revive the fire in my spirit. Let every system in my body respond to your voice of renewal. Let every cell remember its divine design. Let every organ function according to your original blueprint. I am not too old. I am not too late. I am not too broken. I am exactly where you've positioned me for such a time as this. Lord, reverse time, restore strength, release my future. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. If you prayed that prayer with faith, if you felt something shift in your spirit, if you're ready to walk in the supernatural renewal that God has prepared for you, type Amen in the comments right now. This isn't just agreement, this is covenant. This is your signature on heaven's contract for divine reversal. But remember this, chosen one. What God has begun in your spirit will manifest in your flesh. The transformation has already started. The question is not whether it will happen. The question is whether you'll embrace it when it does. Are you ready to live backwards in the best possible way? You thought the message was over, but if you're still here, it means heaven isn't finished with you yet. Can you feel it? That trembling in your chest, that restless stirring that won't let you scroll away. That's not anxiety, beloved. That's revelation refusing to release you. The word I just spoke over your life about aging backwards, about time reversing, it's not just sitting in your ears. It's burrowing into your spirit like a seed that knows its season has come. You see, when God speaks a prophetic word, it doesn't just inform you, it transforms you. And right now, something deep inside you is shaking loose. The foundations you built your limitations on are cracking. The timelines you accepted as final are being rewritten in real time. But what if this reversal isn't just about years? What if it's about destiny itself? Think about this for a moment. You've spent decades believing that your best chapters were behind you. You've made peace with the lie that your most productive years, your most impactful years, your most beautiful years were locked in the past. You've been told to slow down, wind down, settle down, to accept less energy, less purpose, less fire. But God never told you that. Man did, culture did, the enemy did. Listen to what Jeremiah 29:11 declares. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope and a future. Not a past, not a memory, a future. Present tense, active, alive. You feel it in your chest, don't you? That's heaven shaking your foundation so something new can rise. This is an aftershock, chosen one. The first revelation was just the earthquake. Now the ground beneath every assumption you've made about your life is trembling, shifting, preparing for reconstruction. I need you to understand something that will revolutionize how you see tomorrow morning when you wake up. The reversal happening in your body isn't random. It's not some cosmic accident or lucky break. It's strategic. God is restoring your years because He still has assignments for you that require the strength, the clarity, the fire of youth. Moses was 80 when God called him to his greatest work. 80. But Scripture doesn't say God worked around Moses' age. It says God equipped him for the journey. Deuteronomy 34:7 tells us, Moses was 120 years old when he died, yet his eyes were not weak, nor his strength gone. 120. His final 40 years weren't decline, they were his finest chapter. But here's what's shaking me to my core as I speak to you right now. What if your aging backwards isn't just about physical restoration? What if it's about destiny restoration? What if God is rewinding not just your body clock, but your purpose clock? You've been living under the assumption that you missed your moment, that your season passed, that your dreams died when your husband died, when your health failed, when your children stopped calling, when the world told you to step aside for the next generation. That's not just wrong, that's demonic. The enemy has been running a psychological warfare campaign against every senior saint in America. He's whispered the same lie into millions of ears. Your time is up, your usefulness is over, your voice doesn't matter anymore. But why would he work so hard to silence you if you didn't carry something he fears? Here's the truth that's about to detonate every limitation in your life. You're not aging out of purpose, you're aging into authority. Every gray hair is a crown of wisdom. Every wrinkle is a map of faithfulness. Every slower step carries the weight of tested faith. You don't just have experience, you have credibility that can only be earned through decades of watching God prove Himself faithful. But the aftershock isn't finished yet. Can you feel it building? The revelation getting deeper, the mystery expanding? Because what I'm about to tell you next will explain why this reversal is happening to you specifically, why you were chosen for this moment, why your body is defying nature's laws to align with heaven's purpose. You see, the enemy thought he had you figured out. He thought if he could just convince you that your best days were behind you, he could neutralize the greatest threat to his kingdom, a believer with nothing left to lose and everything eternal to gain. But God has been playing a deeper game. While the world was writing you off, heaven was writing you in. While culture was erasing your value, God was increasing your voltage. While time was supposed to weaken you, eternity was strengthening you. Isaiah 46:4 declares, "Even to your old age and gray hairs, I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you." But look at that word, sustain. In Hebrew, it means to bear up, to support, to maintain in an upright position. God isn't just comforting you in decline, He's maintaining you in power. Right now, as these words penetrate your spirit, something is activating in your DNA that scientists can't measure and doctors can't explain. Your cells are receiving new instructions. Your organs are being recalibrated. Your entire biological system is coming under divine management. This isn't mind over matter. This is spirit over flesh. This isn't positive thinking. This is prophetic activation. And the proof? You're still here. After everything hell threw at you, the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments that should have destroyed you, you're still here, still believing, still breathing, still open to the impossible. That's not luck, that's qualification. There's a secret hidden at the end of this journey that could rewrite the way you see your future forever. A revelation so powerful, so transformative, that it will explain not just why you're aging backwards, but why you were chosen to be the generation that breaks every rule about what's possible in your golden years. But I can only share it with those who refuse to give up before the breakthrough comes. Are you ready to discover why your reversal isn't just personal, but generational? But before we go deeper into this sacred mystery, I need to tell you something that will shake you to your very core. Something the enemy has been hiding from you your entire life. You think you've been aging. You think time has been your enemy. You think those lines on your face are evidence of defeat. But what if I told you that everything you've believed about your body, your timeline, your very existence, has been a lie? Listen to what God spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before your mother even knew she was carrying you. Before your father's DNA mixed with hers, before the first cell divided, God knew you. Not just knew about you, knew you. And in that knowing, beloved, He wrote something into your spiritual DNA that the world has never understood. He wrote eternity. He wrote purpose without expiration dates. He wrote a blueprint that doesn't recognize the calendar on your wall or the number on your driver's license. Your soul has always carried eternal youth. Your spirit has always held eternal assignment. Your body is just now catching up. Why do you feel like life has tried to bury you again and again? Because seeds must be buried before they bloom. Every rejection, every setback, every moment when people wrote you off because of your age, it wasn't burial, it was planting. Heaven was positioning you for a resurrection that would defy every natural law. Look at Joseph, 17 years old when he received his dreams of greatness. But where did God take him first? To a pit, then to slavery, then to prison. For 13 years, everyone who knew him thought his story was over. Too late, they whispered, his time has passed. But at 30 years old, Pharaoh pulled him from that prison and placed him over all of Egypt. One day he was forgotten. The next day, he was Pharaoh's right hand. Consider Anna the prophetess, 84 years old, 84, widowed after just 7 years of marriage, spending the next 77 years in the temple, praying, fasting, waiting. People probably thought she was just another old woman who'd lost her mind. But when baby Jesus was brought to the temple, it was Anna, not the young priests, not the influential leaders, Anna, who recognized the Messiah and proclaimed his coming to all Jerusalem. Think about Abraham, 75 years old when God called him to leave everything and start fresh. 100 years old when Isaac was born. 100. The world would have put him in a retirement home, but God was just getting started with him. Do you see the pattern? Heaven specializes in too late stories. God's greatest miracles come wrapped in packages the world has already discarded. But here's what breaks my heart. Here's what should break yours too. How many of you right now are believing the world's timeline instead of God's blueprint? How many of you have accepted the lie that your season is over, that your purpose has expired, that God is finished with you? That crushing feeling in your chest when you look in the mirror and see what the world calls old. That's not conviction, that's deception. That weight you carry when people treat you like you're invisible, irrelevant, outdated, that's not truth. That's warfare against your divine blueprint. The enemy has been running a psychological campaign against you for decades. Every commercial that celebrates youth and mocks age. Every job that went to someone younger. Every time someone spoke over you, dismissed you, treated you like your best days were behind you. It was all designed to make you forget who you really are. But God is about to shatter that illusion. You're not fighting decline, chosen one. You're fighting disguise. Heaven is pulling off the mask of age to reveal who you've always been underneath. That weariness you've been carrying, it's not your true nature. It's a costume the world made you wear. that sense of being past your prime. It's not reality, it's programming designed to keep you small. Your body has been listening to the wrong voice. It's been responding to culture's expectations instead of creator's intentions. But something shifted the moment you started watching this message. Something awakened. Your cells are beginning to remember their original instructions. Not the instructions written by time and trauma, but the instructions written by the one who formed you before time began. This isn't about vanity. This isn't about trying to recapture youth. This is about spiritual archaeology, digging through layers of lies to uncover the eternal blueprint that was always there. The version of you that carries divine assignment. The version that doesn't know how to quit, how to fade, how to accept defeat. Science talks about DNA, but they don't understand divine DNA. They study genetics, but they can't decode the spiritual signature God wrote into your very essence. You carry genetic information that predates your birth certificate. Cellular memory that remembers what wholeness feels like. Biological programming that responds to faith, not fear. But here's the urgency that should grip your soul right now. This awakening has a window. This divine reversal has a season. And that season is now. Not tomorrow, not next year. Not when you feel ready. Now, right now, as these words penetrate your spirit, your body is receiving new instructions. Your nervous system is recalibrating. Your hormones are rebalancing. Your very cells are beginning to vibrate at the frequency of heaven instead of the frequency of this fallen world. I need you to do something prophetic right now. I need you to speak your name out loud. Say it with authority. Say it with recognition of who you really are. And then declare these words over your life. I was written into God's eternal blueprint. Don't just think it, speak it. Your voice carries creative power. Your words are spiritual commands. When you align your mouth with God's truth, your body has no choice but to respond. Because what I'm about to reveal next will explain exactly how this reversal works at the cellular level, and why your faith is the key that unlocks what medicine calls impossible. Chosen one, I need you to do something right now that will change everything. Stand up, walk to the nearest mirror, look at yourself. Really look. What do you see? Be honest with me. When you stare into that glass, what voice speaks the loudest? Is it the voice that whispers, "You're getting old"? Is it the voice that counts every line, every spot, every sign that time has visited your face? Is it the voice that says, "Your best days are behind you"? That voice is a liar. You see, there are two mirrors in this universe, and most people spend their entire lives staring into the wrong one. Earth's mirror shows you decline, fatigue, the mathematics of aging. It measures you by calendars and clocks, by what you've lost instead of what you've gained. It speaks the language of limitation. But Heaven's mirror sees something entirely different. When you look at your reflection and only see wrinkles, Heaven looks and sees wisdom carved in lines of fire. When you see gray hair, Heaven sees a crown of glory earned through decades of faithful endurance. When you see tired eyes, Heaven sees depths of compassion that could only be forged in the furnace of real life. Proverbs 16:31 declares, "Gray hair is a crown of splendor. It is attained in the way of righteousness, not a mark of decline, a crown of splendor." But here's where it gets deeper, chosen one. Here's where the prophetic realm collides with your bathroom mirror. The reflection you've been seeing isn't even real. It's been distorted by years of believing Earth's lies about your worth, your beauty, your purpose. You've been looking through the lens of a fallen world that worships youth and discards wisdom. But God never intended for you to measure yourself by their broken standards. Listen to what Scripture reveals in 1 Samuel 16:7. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. But what if I told you that when your heart is aligned with heaven, it transforms what people see on the outside? What if the radiance you're feeling isn't imagination, it's manifestation? Right now, as you stand before that mirror, something supernatural is happening. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is dwelling in you, and that Spirit doesn't age. Romans 8:11 promises, "And if the Spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies." Give life, present tense, happening now. You think you're looking at the effects of time, but you're actually witnessing the effects of eternity breaking through into the temporal. Every day you walk with God, every prayer you pray, every act of faith deposits something into your spiritual account that begins to overflow into your physical being. This is why people keep asking you, "What are you doing differently?" This is why strangers smile at you longer. This is why your own family members pause when they look at you, trying to figure out what's changed. They're seeing heaven's mirror reflecting through earth's glass. But I need to ask you something that's going to cut deep. Which mirror will you believe? The one on your wall that speaks earth's language of limitation, or the one in eternity that speaks heaven's language of restoration? Because here's the shocking truth that will revolutionize everything. The mirror on your wall has been lying to you for years. It's been programmed by a culture that profits from your insecurity, that makes billions convincing you that your value decreases with age. But that mirror doesn't know your story. It doesn't know your purpose. It doesn't know that you carry the DNA of the eternal God. That mirror has never read Isaiah 46:4, where the Almighty declares, "Even to your old age and grey hairs, I am He who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you." Sustain you, carry you, not endure you, not tolerate you. Sustain and carry you with the same power that spoke galaxies into existence. You want to know what's really happening when you look in that mirror and see something different. You want to know why your reflection is starting to confuse you in the most beautiful way. You are not aging, chosen one. You are unveiling. Every year that passes isn't taking something away from you, it's revealing something that was always there. Every line isn't a mark of decay, it's a mark of divine sculpture. God has been chiseling away everything that wasn't authentically you, and now, finally, the masterpiece is beginning to emerge. This is why Moses' face shone so brightly after spending time with God that the Israelites couldn't look at him. This is why Stephen's face appeared like the face of an angel, even as he was being stoned. This is why Jesus was transfigured on the mountain, his face shining like the sun. The closer you get to your divine purpose, the more heaven's mirror begins to override earth's reflection. You think you're getting older, but you're actually getting closer. Closer to who you've always been underneath the layers of pain, disappointment, and the world's expectations. Closer to the version of yourself that existed in God's mind before time began. Right now, this very moment, I need you to do something prophetic. Touch your face. Feel the texture of your skin. Close your eyes. And whisper these words with me. I am radiant in God's reflection. Say it again. I am radiant in God's reflection. Because that's not hope, chosen one. That's not positive thinking. That's prophetic declaration. That's you agreeing with heaven's mirror instead of earth's distortion. But the question that will determine your destiny is this. Now that you know the truth about which mirror to believe, will you finally stop letting earth's reflection define your reality? But chosen one, I know what's happening in your mind right now. Even as your spirit leaps at this truth, there's another voice speaking. A darker voice. A voice that sounds like your own, but isn't. You may be asking, but my body hurts. My joints ache when I wake up. My energy fails by 3 p.m. My mind forgets where I put my keys, the names of old friends, the dreams I once carried. You look at your hands, these same hands that once built, created, loved, and you see spots, veins, trembling. You catch your reflection in store windows and wonder when that stranger took residence in your mirror. You feel the weight of 70, 80, 90 years pressing down on your shoulders like a heavy coat you can't remove. And the enemy whispers his favorite lie. You're too late, too old, too broken. Your best days are buried in photo albums. Your strength is a memory. Your purpose expired with your youth. Stop. Do you hear what just happened? You were tuning into the wrong frequency. Imagine you're driving through the mountains of upstate New York, and you're trying to find your favorite radio station. But all you're getting is static, interference, voices cutting in and out. Station 98.7 keeps fading to crackling noise. But then you adjust the dial just slightly, just 1 degree, and suddenly crystal clear music fills your car. Dear one, there are 2 radio signals broadcasting over your life right now. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're both transmitting into your spirit. The first signal, station decay, broadcasts lies. You're declining, you're diminishing, you're done. This frequency comes from a culture obsessed with youth, a medical system that profits from your fear, and an enemy who wants you to believe your expiration date was stamped on your birth certificate. But there's another frequency, station destiny. And on this station, heaven is broadcasting something entirely different. You're right on time. You're being refined. You're just getting started. The question isn't whether both signals exist. The question is, which frequency are you tuned to? Because here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Every single thing he's using to convince you that you're finished, God is using to prove you're ready. That pain in your back? It's teaching you to depend on supernatural strength. That memory that's slower, it's making room for divine wisdom. That energy that comes and goes, it's preparing you to operate in His power, not your own. Moses stuttered, and God made him a spokesman for millions. David was the youngest, smallest, forgotten son, and God made him a giant killer. Sarah's womb was dead at 90, and God made her the mother of nations. Caleb was 85 when he said, "Give me this mountain," and conquered territories half his age couldn't touch. Your age isn't your disqualification, it's your authorization. But the accuser keeps shouting, doesn't he? He's relentless. Every morning he's there with his calculator, adding up your years, subtracting your strength, multiplying your limitations. He points to your medical records like they're legal documents. He waves your birth certificate like a death warrant. But heaven roars back. You're right on time. Not too late, not too old, not too broken. Right on time for what I've been preparing you for since before you took your first breath. Listen to me, dear one. Even your scars are sermons. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every wrinkle is a testimony of endurance. Every gray hair is a crown of wisdom earned through battles fought and victories won. You think your scars make you less beautiful. They make you powerful. You think your limp makes you weak. It makes you a witness that you've walked through hell and lived to tell about it. Even your weakness is prophecy. When Paul pleaded 3 times for God to remove his thorn, what did God say? My strength is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12-9. Your weakness isn't disqualifying you, it's qualifying you for supernatural power. Because here's the mystery the world can't understand. Where you end, God begins. Where your energy runs out, His energy kicks in. Where your memory fails, His mind takes over. Where your strength gives way, His power shows up. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through to a realm where human limitation meets divine possibility. But you have to choose your frequency. You have to tune out the static of culture's lies and tune into heaven's truth. You have to stop letting the calendar define your capacity and start letting the Creator determine your calling. The voice of time says, your days are numbered. The voice of eternity says, your purpose is unlimited. The voice of flesh says, you're wearing out. The voice of spirit says, you're being renewed day by day. Right now, this very moment, I need you to make a declaration that will shift the spiritual atmosphere around your life. I need you to take your hand, place it over your heart, and feel that beating. That's not the sound of time running out. That's the sound of destiny calling. If you're ready to cancel the lie of time, if you're ready to tune out station decay and dial into station destiny, write in the comments, I cancel the lie of time. I tune to the voice of heaven. This isn't just a comment. This is a spiritual act of rebellion against every limitation the world has tried to place on your life. Because what I'm about to reveal next will show you exactly how to stay locked onto heaven's frequency, even when the static of circumstance tries to drown it out. But here's what's about to happen to your body in the next few moments, chosen one. And I need you to pay attention, because this isn't theory anymore. This is transformation in real time. Can you feel it? That warmth spreading through your chest, that gentle electricity moving down your arms. That's not your imagination. That's divine energy, recognizing divine energy. Your spirit is calling to your flesh, and your flesh is finally learning how to answer. Right now, as these words wash over you, something ancient is stirring beneath the surface of your skin. The stiffness in your joints, that prison that's held you captive for years, it's beginning to melt. Not gradually, not over months, right now, like ice under the warm breath of God Himself. You see, dear one, your body has been lying to you. Society has been lying to you. The medical establishment has been lying to you. They told you that 70 means slowing down, that 80 means sitting down, that 90 means giving up. But God never got that memo. Listen to what David declared in Psalm 103:5. Who satisfies your years with good things so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. Your youth is renewed, not your memories of youth, not your longing for youth, your actual, physical, measurable youth. And it's happening whether you believe it or not. But when you believe it, when you align with it, when you partner with heaven's agenda for your body, that's when the surge becomes a tsunami. I'm talking to the grandmother in Toledo who hasn't laughed laughed in 15 years. I can see you, dear one. You've forgotten what it feels like to throw your head back and let joy bubble up from your belly like a spring that can't be contained. But it's coming back. That laughter is rising from the depths of your spirit like a resurrection song. I'm speaking to the grandfather in Brooklyn who's been shuffling instead of walking, who's been surviving instead of thriving. Your stride is about to return. Not the careful, measured steps of someone afraid to fall, but the confident, purposeful walk of someone who knows exactly where they're going and exactly who's leading them there. Here's the mystery that will blow your mind. Your spirit has always been water, pure, flowing, life-giving water. Time didn't dry you up, it just placed stones over the river. Financial pressure, health scares, family betrayals, disappointments. Stone after stone after stone, until you forgot there was ever a river underneath. But water always finds a way. And right now, this very moment, the river of your spirit is breaking through. Can you hear it? That rumbling beneath the rocks? That's not your stomach growling. That's the sound of divine energy demolishing every dam the devil tried to build in your life. Ezekiel 47:9 promises, wherever the river flows, everything will live. Everything, chosen one. Your joints, your organs, your mind, your emotions, your dreams, your relationships, your bank account, your future. Everything the river touches comes alive. And the river isn't just flowing around you. The river is you. But why is this happening now? Why not 10 years ago when you first started praying for healing? Why not 20 years ago when you were younger and stronger? I'll tell you why, because your assignment demanded it. God doesn't operate on your timeline. He operates on His purpose. You see, God wasn't withholding this surge from you. He was preparing you for it. Every tear you cried in secret was building the riverbed. Every prayer you whispered in the dark was carving the channel. Every moment you chose faith over fear was removing another stone. Moses was 80 when God called him to lead a nation. Sarah was 90 when she conceived Isaac. Caleb was 85 when he said, "Give me this mountain." They weren't getting weaker with age. They were getting loaded with purpose. And purpose, dear one, doesn't know how to age. God is not giving you strength to relive the past. He's giving you strength to rewrite the future. This surge isn't nostalgia, it's preparation. You're not going backward, you're being launched forward with the wisdom of decades and the energy of destiny. Feel it now. That tingling in your fingertips, that lightness in your step, that clarity in your mind. Your nervous system is being rewired by the master electrician. Your DNA is being rewritten by the author of life. Your cells are being recharged by the battery of heaven. 2 Corinthians 4:16 declares, "Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day." But what if I told you that promise is about to flip? What if your outer self is about to start reflecting what your inner self has always been? You're about to become living proof that time bows to eternity, walking evidence that God's power transcends natural law, breathing testimony that what the world calls impossible is just Tuesday morning in the kingdom of heaven. Stand up if you can, right where you are. Don't think about it. Don't hesitate. Stand up, raise your hands. Feel that strength flowing through your legs, that stability in your core, that fire in your belly. That's not adrenaline, that's anointing. Now declare it aloud, and I mean aloud. My body is aligning with heaven. Say it again louder. My body is aligning with heaven. One more time, like you believe it. My body is aligning with heaven. You're not waiting for resurrection, chosen one. You are resurrection walking. You're not hoping for a miracle. You are the miracle. You're not praying for breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. But this surge is just the beginning. Because what God is about to reveal next will explain why you, yes, you were chosen to carry this impossible testimony. Chosen one, as we come to the end of this divine encounter, I need you to carry these truths with you like sacred treasures in your heart. Remember this. You are aging backwards not because of human effort, but because of divine decree. Your body is responding to heaven's timeline, not Earth's calendar. The surge you feel, the energy returning, the joy bubbling up, this isn't temporary excitement. This is permanent transformation. Joel 2:25 isn't just a verse you read, it's a promise being fulfilled in your very cells right now. Remember that the river beneath the stones was always there. Your youth, your vitality, your purpose, none of it ever left. It was simply waiting for this appointed moment when God would say, "Now, let the waters flow." And remember this above all, you are resurrection walking. Not someday, not in the sweet by and by. Today, right now. Every breath you take is proof that death has no dominion over what God has claimed as his own. But hear me clearly, beloved, you are not walking this journey alone. Even when the path feels uncertain, even when doubt whispers lies in your ear, the Creator of the universe is working behind the scenes on your behalf. He's moving mountains you can't see, opening doors you haven't found yet, and orchestrating blessings you can't even imagine. And right here, in this sacred space we've created together, you have thousands of brothers and sisters who understand your struggles, who believe in your calling, and who are ready to stand with you in prayer. We're not just viewers on a screen, we're a family united by faith, connected by hope, and bound together by the supernatural love of Christ. So let me ask you this final question, and let it settle deep in your spirit. Now that you know the river is flowing, now that you understand you carry eternity in your DNA, now that you've felt the surge of divine energy coursing through your veins, what will you do with this gift? How will you steward this miracle? Who will you become now that you know you're not bound by the world's limitations? Before I release you into your destiny, join me in prayer. Right now, wherever you are, place your hand on your heart and let me speak over your life as if I'm standing right beside you, my hand on your shoulder, calling down heaven's blessing. Almighty God, Father of lights, author of every good and perfect gift, I come before you now, carrying every precious soul who has journeyed with us today. Lord, you see their hearts. You know their struggles. You've counted every tear they've cried, and heard every prayer they've whispered in the darkness. Father, I pray that you would breathe fresh wind into their weary souls. Where they feel depleted, restore them. Where they feel forgotten, remind them of their worth. Where they feel overwhelmed by age or circumstance, flood them with your supernatural strength. God, I speak divine alignment over their bodies right now. Let every cell respond to your voice. Let every system come into harmony with heaven's rhythm. Where there is pain, release healing. Where there is weakness, impart strength. Where there is confusion, bring clarity. Lord, open doors that no man can shut. Provide resources they haven't even thought to ask for. Send divine connections that will accelerate their purpose. Give them dreams and visions that will guide their steps. Surround them with people who see their value and honor their calling. Most of all, Father, let them feel your presence right now. Let them know in their spirit that you are proud of how they've carried what you've given them. Let them sense your smile, your approval, your deep, unshakable love for who they are and who they're becoming. I pray against every voice of doubt, every whisper of fear, every lie that says their time has passed. I declare that their best days are not behind them, they're unfolding right now. Their assignment is not expired, it's being activated. Their strength is not diminishing, it's being divinely renewed. In Jesus' mighty name, I seal this prayer and release them into their God-ordained destiny. Amen. Now, beloved, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share what stirred in your spirit today. Tell us what changed in your heart during this message. Ask us to pray for specific areas of your life. This community will surround you with intercession. And if you felt the surge, if you experienced that divine energy flowing through you, testify about it. Your breakthrough might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Don't keep this light to yourself. Share this message with someone who needs to remember they're not bound by age, by circumstances, or by the world's expectations. There's someone in your life, a friend, a family member, a neighbor, who needs to know that God is still in the business of reversing what seems irreversible. Thank you for staying with me through this entire journey. Thank you for opening your heart, for believing with me, for allowing God to move in your life today. Your faithfulness to watch until the very end tells me everything I need to know about your heart. You're hungry for more of God, and He honors that hunger. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We're building something beautiful here, a community where faith grows, hope is restored, and destinies are fulfilled. Every week, we're diving deeper into the mysteries of your divine calling, and I don't want you to miss a single moment. Until we meet again, walk in the authority of who you are, rest in His presence, trust His timing, and never forget you are aging backwards because you carry eternity in your DNA, and eternity never grows old. Go in peace, chosen one. Go in power. Go in the unshakable knowledge that your river is flowing, your youth is being renewed, and your greatest days are still ahead. The surge has begun. And this is only the beginning.